That's the law. So if Border Patrol or the Sheriff's Department or BLM asks us to stand guard on an individual or help them find somebody, we can do that.
So by then you're legally deputized.
Absolutely. They don't have the right to tell you, okay, I want you to go over here, and if that guy comes out of the woods to shoot him, they don't have that right to do that. They can't put you in physical harm at any time, but they can have you doing, policing work of the sort. Detaining someone that's cuffed, standing there watching them, standing guard over some drugs that they found, or whatever the case may be. If you decide to follow an officer into harm's way and he's actually asked you to do so, that's at your own doing. They're not forcing you to do that, and you don't have to do it at that point. But any other guard duty or anything that they tell you, they have to do that. If you don't, you'll actually get charged with disorderly conduct. A deadly weapon, we all know primarily what it is. It's any weapon that will shoot a projectile or can cause physical deadly harm. So picking up a big club and beating somebody with it, that's a deadly weapon, if that's what its intent is used for. We are covered to protect ourselves at all costs. We can protect each other. If somebody happens to be being shot at and they call us in for help, we can definitely go over there and assist, and whatever the outcome may be is what it may be. But the bottom line is we are not law enforcement. We are citizens out here to protect our borders that the government is not doing. And fortunately, Arizona allows us to do that. They're pretty lax in the laws of allowing us to do that. But if we cross that line, they will prosecute us, and make examples of us. So the anything that we find, whether it be a knife, a gun, drugs, anything like that, we have no choice but to turn any of that over. I know we're not out here to steal the drugs and become one of them, but just so you know that Chapter 4, Title 244 states that we have to turn everything over. We don't have a choice, no matter how big or how small. And one thing that I'll recommend, yeah.
The point I wanted to also make up to that is the only time, if you come across a small amount, you cannot destroy it yourself, because as a civilian you're destroying evidence.
Correct.
If BP or LEO doesn't want to come out and take it, and you clarify exactly what you have, and he doesn't want to come out and take it, you could ask him what you want to do with it. He can instruct you to destroy it.
He can instruct you to destroy it, but state law states that you're supposed to turn it over to a magistrate,
Yeah.
which means any law enforcement of any level. You can turn it over to a fireman. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, but it also doesn't mean, if you come across 60 pounds, throw it in the back of your truck and drive it down there.
Because then you're caught with 60 pounds of
You're in
marijuana,
possession.
and you're going to get in trouble for it. They don't care who's carrying it at that point. They just care that they caught it, and you're the one with it. So first of all, are there any questions on any of that you guys don't understand, or
if you find the narcotics and you do make a citizen's arrest out there at the point in time, do we call the authorities to come pick the narcotics and illegals up from standpoint, or
Yes.
do we escort them?
No, you don't transport them.
You just maintain them in their position.
If it's not a safe environment, you can transport them to a safe environment. But if you're transporting them, you have arrested them, and you have no choice but to turn them over to law enforcement at that
Right.
time. So, and most of us, we're not out here to catch CIAs, although, if we catch a group of them, that's what we want to do. But but the drugs are.
What are the
what we're
guidelines
really
as far
trying
as
to do.
detaining them?
If they're committing a felony or a gross misdemeanor, we can detain them, and that's whatever means necessary. We can cuff them. I carry cuffs, so we can do that if need be. But holding them at gunpoint is intimidation, so we really have to be careful about pointing a weapon at someone who hasn't actually committed a felony.
By them being illegally here on our property, are they committing a felony by that, or do we have to?
Trespass.
It's a class 2 trespass. Federal law goes after it a little bit different, but we're not covered by federal law in this case, unfortunately.
Are we under the assumption that they're always carrying narcotics, or just?
You can't make that assumption, because if you detain somebody and there's nothing on them, then that can actually get you for kidnapping.
Right.
And we don't need to go down for a kidnapping charge just because someone was trekking through the desert. At that point, we don't even know if he's an IA or not. It could just be, someone of brown color walking through the desert. He may live here. He may be from Maricopa. Who knows? So it's a little bit more difficult there.
So, I just want to make sure I'm straight with this here. So, hypothetically, you see him with the weed, they drop it, see him commit a felony, bring
Yes.
in weed, you handcuff him.
Yes.
Now, since we see him in the felony, are we to march him to the, do we leave him, stay at that point and call the Border Patrol, or do we march him to the road so the Border Patrol can pick him up?
It would depend on the area that I'm in. If we're way out there, if we're a mile out there in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to march them right back to base camp.
But otherwise, you just keep them where they're at?
But yeah, if we're on a road and we can get GPS coordinates
All right.
to
Because to
to
do
law
that, sometimes
enforcement-
saying you almost have to use your point their gun at them to say, "Let's go." I mean, move along, but we're not allowed to do that, even though we've seen them commit a felony.
Yeah, and the thing is there. I mean, most of them they're going to follow you anyway.
Right.
The intimidation factor of us just being here naturally just puts
Okay.
them a little fear of